So, who are the Kurds? It's a huge question, one that echoes through thousands of years of history and across some of the most dramatic landscapes on Earth. Okay, let's dive right in because to even begin to answer that, you've got to understand a place before you can understand its people. Literally everything about the Kurdish story starts right here. Not with a king, not with a battle, but with the land itself. The Zagros and Taurus mountain ranges. Now, think of these mountains less like a backdrop and more like the main character of the whole story. They're a fortress, a sanctuary, and the very heart of an identity that's been forged over millennia. All right, so let's start right there with the physical foundation of it all. We've said the mountains are the main character, right? Well, now we're going to see how this geography doesn't just influence life here. In a lot of ways, it dictates it. I mean, just look at this. It really shows you what a land of extremes we're talking about. Because of the elevation, you get these crazy climatic shifts. You can have scorching hot summers down in the lowlands, but then you go up a bit, and suddenly you're in these freezing snow-covered peaks. And you can imagine that's shaped everything from how you farm to where you live for thousands of years. And here's something that is just so crucial to understand about this region's importance. These mountains, they're basically a giant water tower for the whole area. All that snowmelt and rain they catch, that's what feeds the famous Tigris and Euphrates rivers, giving life to the massive plains of Iraq and Syria. It's simple, really. Control the mountains, you control the water. Okay, so we've got this incredible, dramatic landscape. How did people actually live here? What's the human story? Let's jump from geology to history, because we're talking about people who called these mountains home way, way before a lot of other big-name empires were even a thing. I mean, just look at this timeline for a second. It gives you a sense of the sheer depth we're dealing with. We're starting with the Halaf culture, flourishing over 8,000 years ago. Then you've got the Hurrians, building powerful city-states, then the Mitanni, and then a really important one, the Medes. The Median Empire is who many Kurds today consider to be their direct ancestors, the first to really bring this whole mountainous region together.
But get this, it goes even deeper. The Sumerians, the people who basically invented writing, they wrote stories about this incredible, legendary kingdom of riches hidden in the mountains. They called it Arata. And while we don't know its exact location, a lot of scholars think that mythical kingdom was right here, in the heart of Kurdistan. That's not just history, that's straight-up legend.
Okay, so we've got the deep history. Now let's talk about something else that really defines this place, its incredible religious diversity. If the land is the foundation, then faith is like this beautiful, intricate mosaic built right on top of it. So yeah, the majority of Kurds are Sunni Muslims, but that is far from the whole picture. You find these incredibly old communities of Christians and Jews, newer faiths like the Baha'i, but the really unique part? It's this fascinating group of ancient pre-Islamic faiths native to the Kurds, all falling under the umbrella of Yazdanism. So let's zoom in on Yazdanism for a second, because it's just so fascinating. The basic idea is a single universal spirit with 7 divine beings, or angels, helping out. But the real game changer here is reincarnation, the belief that souls are reborn. Think about how different that is from the standard idea of a one-time heaven or hell you see in surrounding religions. It's a worldview that grew out of the very same ancient soil, but you guessed it, it was protected and shaped in its own unique way by those mountains. All right, land, check. Faced, check. Now for the politics. And this is a story of a constant back and forth, a real tug of war between moments of having immense power and periods of being stuck right in the middle of other people's fights. Wow, this is such a powerful visual of what we're talking about. Look over here on the left. This is the peak of Kurdish power under the legendary Saladin. His Ayyubid dynasty ruled this massive empire from Egypt all the way to Syria. Now, jump forward a few centuries and look at the right. Totally different story, right? Suddenly, Kurdistan isn't the center of an empire anymore. It's this fractured borderland, a buffer zone squeezed between the huge Ottoman and Persian Safavid empires. And that tension, unity versus division, that's a theme you see again and again and again. But, through all that political turmoil, something amazing was happening. A unique, vibrant culture just kept on thriving, protected in those mountains. This is where we get into the cultural tapestry, the language, the stories, the art that really defines Kurdish identity. First up, language. And this is key. There really isn't one single Kurdish language. As you can see here, it's actually a family of related languages, all part of the bigger Iranian language group, with the main ones being Kermanji and Sorani. And why so much diversity? Well, it all comes back to the mountains, of course.
They created all these isolated valleys where different ways of speaking could just develop on their own over centuries.
So, okay, we keep saying a rich culture. What does that actually sound like? What does it look like? Well, for one thing, the storytelling tradition is just ancient. I mean, so ancient that you can actually find themes and characters in Kurdish folklore that echo one of the oldest stories we have, period, the Mesopotamian epic of Gilgamesh. It's like this living, breathing connection to the very dawn of civilization in that land.
And ancient storytelling is just one piece of the puzzle. You can hear it in their music. It has these totally unique scales and rhythms that just don't sound like Arab, Turkish, or Persian music. You can read it in their national epic poem, Memuzin, and you can literally see it woven into those world-famous Kurdish rugs, with intricate designs carrying patterns that are thousands of years old.
So it all comes back to where we started, doesn't it? The mountains. A people shaped and defined by their land, with a history that goes back to the dawn of time. This incredible mosaic of faiths, this rich cultural tapestry. The key thing to remember, though, is that this story is far from over. It's still being written. Which leaves us with one final, pretty big question. What story will these mountains tell next?